Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 17 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. This game will take place in Cincinnati, who comes in with a record of 10-5, winners of the AFC North, and the Ravens 8-7, coming off a disappointing loss last week at home to New England. Now at 8-7, needs a win in this game and some help in order to sneak into that second wild card spot in the AFC. So certainly a lot at stake for both teams here. Cincinnati can finish anywhere from second in the conference to fourth based on how this game unfolds. And look, the Bengals have scored more than 40 points in 4 straight home games. All right, and a big part of that obviously is the play they get out of their quarterback, Andy Dalton. There's the good Andy, bad Andy complex developing here. And if you're a Bengals fan, you know what I'm talking about. But he tends to play better at home, especially this season. And I think the biggest difference is while A.J. Green gets all the stats and gets all the headlines, okay, because his numbers tend to pop out of the box score when you look at it, it's the other complementary players, the younger players that I think play better at home along with Andy Dalton. Whether it's a Marvin Jones, a Jermaine Gresham, Tyler Eifert or even a Mohamed Sanu. I think you get more out of these guys, certainly at home, and also out of the running back tandem of Green Ellis and Bernard. We'll see how that manifests itself against a Ravens defense and team overall that absolutely needs this game. All right, they have to be embarrassed by how things went last week. And to me, the big part of the Ravens' success or failure this week will be hinged on how serious of a knee injury does Joe Flacco actually have. He was a trooper last week. He came out and played, gave it the best effort he could, but he was definitely hampered by that knee brace if you watched that game last week. And, is it a case where he's more hurt than he's letting on? Or is it a case where he just needed a week to get used to wearing that brace, which can be pretty cumbersome? I think we'll find that out this week because this Ravens team, you figure they'll be up against it facing the offense of the Bengals, as we just went through how good the Bengals are at home. For the Ravens to keep pace, they haven't been able to run the ball all season. I don't think it's going to start against a good team, good defense in particular, in the Bengals on the road. So I think for them to stay in this game, they're going to have to get big plays, and they're going to have to get consistent play out of Joe Flacco. And for both these quarterbacks in the last game, they had trouble with the opposing defenses. It was 5 total interceptions the first 2 times these teams met, Dalton with 3 and Flacco with 2. Which team or which quarterback can turn the ball over the least? And also, another key thing to remember from that last game was the fact that Carlos Dunlap had 2 sacks, and on the other side, Elvis Dumervil had 3 sacks. So are the opposing offensive lines, able to sort of hold down those 2 guys? How successful are they? I think the pass rush, pass protection, and the play of the 2 quarterbacks is going to be the most key here, and especially Flacco with that knee brace. And, I think all these things will unfold. These 2 teams both need this game. There's not a lack of motivation on either side, which could be a big factor here in Week 17. Common thinking would think to jump at the Bengals because they're playing great. Okay, they're coming off maybe one of their best performances of the season against a Vikings defense that's very bad. Let's face it. And you have the Ravens coming off of maybe their worst performance of the season. But, the Ravens are a tough team. They're battle tested. I just think this Flacco knee injury is a lot worse than they're letting on. And if Flacco isn't able to stand in the pocket, make the throws, make them on time, make them accurately, where are the points coming from for the Ravens? Because they're not going to get some, assists on Andy Dalton turnovers like the first time around because, as I went through, Dalton plays a lot better at home. So I think Cincinnati rolls into the playoffs here. Okay, they're not just looking to make the playoffs. They've made the playoffs the last 2 years. They're looking to go in with some momentum and make some noise in the playoffs. So I like Cincinnati -5.5 at home this week. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview every game every week, guys. Always talking the news of the day in the NFL. I'll be rolling into the NFL draft stuff here as well. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.